Good evening. From day 18 of lockdown, Summer and I are greeting you from the station of Tirso De Molina. This is the only station in Madrid that keeps its original tiling. If you observe, it's all white because when Antonio Palacios designed this, he's the Gaudi of Madrid, he wanted the people who were afraid of descending to the bowels of hell, give them a sense of light and space, and hence the palatial feel. Now, what's interesting about this place is that it hasn't changed its tiling, not because they wanted to conserve history or whatever that, which should have been the case, but because to remove these would be to bring down a cemetery. You see, in this place, which is the square, was the convent of the Mercedes, and it was knocked down in the 19th century and made a square. When they were building the metro, the workers were horrified to discover a veritable catacomb, mass grave. What was it? It turned out to be the friars who lived in the convent. And so what did they do? They packed them into the walls, and they are still here, behind these tiles to this day, which is why they don't remove them, so they don't come crashing down and have to make a big resign. And what to do with the bones? This is one of my favorite stories. And so this leads to the fact that this station is actually considered to be haunted, and you're meant to hear the screams of the dead friars after midnight. I've never heard such a thing. But anyway, so this is that moment of history. Now I'm walking to the square, and today I wanted just to reflect on the reality that we're facing in terms of the economy of it all. I think it's fascinating how really the West, i.e. Europe and North America, have totally dropped the ball on the COVID thing, whereas traditionally developing nations have actually been pretty fucking cool. I mean, Vietnam stopped it in its tracks. South Korea went the aggressive testing way and, look at them, flattened the curve in no time. And other countries like Colombia and South Africa have locked down their citizens before it reached the levels of lockdown here in Spain and Italy. So, how's that for some global south ass whooping? Says something about it. Now what I think we should observe is the United States is going into this, and all hell's gonna break loose there. So, my feeling is that here in Spain we're gonna be locked down until around the 16th of May. It'll be 8 weeks, following Wuhan's example. The United States, much bigger, and since they're gonna go in waves, New York, California, and it'll eat into it, Louisiana, what have you, their lockdown's gonna be longer. So that'll be, the giant will be slumbering. China is already waking. Enter opportunity. Now you see China exporting masks everywhere in the world. So I believe we are witnessing the death throes of the US hegemony, in terms of the fact that while they snooze because they have to, because they didn't deal with this before, China's gonna pick up the wheel and be like, hi guys, want some masks? And they're gonna have time to recover their economy while the rest of us are sleeping. So this crisis, beyond the tragedy of the death, will change the world in terms of the economic powers that be, in terms of where we're going with this, in terms of the status quo. And this is an opportunity to make that status quo something we want to be a part of, a more equitable world. But we also need to watch out for China taking advantage of this and maybe just maybe becoming the new hegemon. Maybe a world without a hegemon in which we all work together and are conscious of that collective consciousness might be the answer. So with that thought in mind, I wish you all love and rage in a very rainy Madrid. Schizo, because on Sunday it was beautiful, like 28 degrees, and now it snowed last night. The gods must be crazy. So, Summer and myself bid you a good night.